What if most of the stress in your life isn't actually caused by your life? What if it's caused by the meaning you give to what happens? A delayed message, someone disrespecting you, a business deal that falls apart, a person talking behind your back, money problems, an uncertain future, a mistake you made yesterday, a possibility that may never happen tomorrow. And somehow, your mind takes all of these things and turns them into suffering. The Stoics understood something that modern people often forget. Not everything deserves your emotional energy. You cannot control what people think about you. You cannot control whether someone disappoints you. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control traffic. You cannot control whether opportunities appear when you want them. You cannot even control everything that happens inside your own body. But you can control something far more important: how you respond. Marcus Aurelius spent years surrounded by war, political pressure, betrayal, illness, uncertainty, and death. Yet he repeatedly reminded himself to return to what was within his power. Epictetus taught that some things are up to us and some things are not. And Seneca warned against suffering more in imagination than in reality. This is the Stoic approach to stress. Not pretending that problems don't exist. Not becoming emotionless. Not running away from responsibility. But learning to distinguish between real problems and unnecessary suffering. Because there is a difference. And once you understand that difference, you begin to reclaim your peace. Chapter 1. Stop fighting reality. One of the greatest sources of stress is resistance. Something happens, and immediately your mind says, "This shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have said that. She shouldn't have left. I shouldn't have lost that money. My business shouldn't be struggling. Life shouldn't be this difficult." But reality does not negotiate. Reality does not ask for your permission. Reality simply happens. The Stoic does not waste energy arguing with reality. If it rains, you can complain about the rain for 3 hours. Or you can carry an umbrella. The rain does not care. If someone insults you, you can spend the entire night replaying their words. Or you can ask, is there anything useful in what they said? If yes, learn. If no, release it. The event is already finished. Your suffering comes from continuing the event inside your mind. This is one of the most powerful Stoic lessons. Accept what has happened before deciding what to do next. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. You don't have to like what happened. You simply acknowledge, this is the situation. And once you stop fighting the fact that it happened, you can finally start dealing with it. Chapter 2. Separate facts from stories. A major source of unnecessary stress is the story we attach to an event. Imagine someone doesn't reply to your message. The fact is simple. They haven't replied, but your mind begins writing a novel. They're angry. They don't respect me. I must have done something wrong. They're talking about me. They're ignoring me. Now you are stressed. But notice something. None of those thoughts were facts. They were interpretations. The Stoic learns to separate the two. Ask yourself, what actually happened? Then ask, what am I adding to it? This simple question can save you from hours of anxiety. You receive criticism. Fact. Someone criticized your work. Story. Everyone thinks I'm incompetent. You lose money. Fact. You lost money. Story. My life is ruined. Someone rejects you. Fact. They said no. Story. I'll never succeed. The Stoic removes the story and returns to reality. Because reality is often difficult enough. You don't need to make it worse with imagination. Chapter 3. Stop trying to control people. One of the fastest ways to destroy your peace is trying to control another human being. You want people to understand you. You want them to respect you. You want them to appreciate you. You want them to behave fairly. You want your employees to work exactly as you expect. You want your partner to always understand your feelings. You want your friends to never disappoint you. You want your competitors to fail. But people are not machines. They have their own desires, their own fears, their own personalities, their own choices. You cannot control them. You can influence people. You can communicate. You can negotiate. You can set boundaries. But ultimately, their choices belong to them. And once you accept that, something changes. You stop saying, "Why won't they change?" and start asking, "What should I do?" That question puts power back into your hands. If someone is disrespectful, you control your response. If someone lies, you control whether you continue trusting them. If someone leaves, you control how you rebuild. If someone refuses your offer, you control your next move. The Stoic doesn't waste energy commanding the uncontrollable. He directs his energy toward his own character and actions. Chapter 4. Don't suffer tomorrow today. Seneca understood a dangerous habit of the human mind. We often suffer events before they happen. You have an important meeting tomorrow, and tonight you're already nervous. What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if I embarrass myself? What if everything goes wrong? But tomorrow hasn't happened. You're suffering from a future that exists only in your imagination. This doesn't mean you shouldn't prepare. Preparation is rational. Worry is different. Preparation asks, "What can I do?" Worry asks, "What if everything goes wrong?" Preparation creates action. Worry creates exhaustion. So when your mind begins predicting disaster, ask, "Is there something I can do about this right now?" If yes, do it. Prepare, plan, practice, save money, make the phone call, study, train, if no, release it. Because you cannot solve tomorrow's problems with today's anxiety. You can only solve today's responsibilities. At Chapter 5, Master the Pause. One of the greatest Stoic weapons is incredibly simple. Pause. Someone insults you. Pause. You receive bad news. Pause. Someone sends an angry message. Pause. You're about to make an emotional financial decision. Pause. Your first emotional reaction is not always your wisest response. The Stoics understood the importance of creating distance between an event and your reaction. That distance gives reason time to enter. Imagine someone says something disrespectful to you. Your first instinct might be, "Who do you think you are?" But pause. Take a breath. Ask, "Does responding improve my situation?" Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. The pause gives you something priceless. Choice. Without the pause, emotion chooses for you. With the pause, you choose. And the person who controls the pause often controls the outcome. Chapter 6. Stop needing everyone's approval. Modern life has created an enormous stress machine. Other people's opinions. You post something. You check the reactions. You say something. You wonder what everyone thought. You make a decision. You worry whether people approve. You achieve something. You want recognition. You fail. You fear judgment. But ask yourself, how much of your life is being controlled by people who don't actually live your life? The Stoic understands that reputation is external. Character is internal. You should care about being honorable. You should care about being trustworthy. You should care about doing good work. But you cannot control everyone's opinion. Some people will misunderstand you. Some will criticize you. Some will dislike you without knowing you. Some will judge you based on information they don't have. And that's okay. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself not to become dependent on the opinions of others. Your goal should not be, "How do I make everyone like me?" Your goal should be, "How do I become someone I respect?" That is a much more peaceful goal. Chapter 7. Simplify your problems. Sometimes stress grows because we make everything complicated. We have 10 problems, but instead of solving one, we think about all 10 simultaneously. The result? Mental paralysis. The Stoic approach is simple. Deal with what is in front of you. If you have a financial problem, identify the next action. If you have a business problem, identify the next decision. If you have a relationship problem, identify the conversation that needs to happen. If you have a personal weakness, identify the habit that needs to change. Don't attempt to solve your entire life tonight. Ask, what is the next right action? Then do that. And after that, ask again. Life becomes less overwhelming when you stop trying to carry the entire future at once. Chapter 8. Learn to say no. Many people are stressed because their lives are filled with commitments they never wanted. They say yes when they mean no. Yes to unnecessary meetings. Yes to unnecessary favors. Yes to unnecessary arguments. Yes to unnecessary spending. Yes to people who constantly drain them. Yes to responsibilities that don't belong to them. And eventually they wonder, why am I exhausted? Because peace requires boundaries. Saying no is not selfish. Sometimes it is wisdom. You don't have to attend every argument. You don't have to respond to every provocation. You don't have to explain every decision. You don't have to chase every opportunity. You don't have to be available to everyone. The Stoic understands that time and attention are limited resources. Spend them deliberately. Chapter 9. Don't turn small problems into identity crises. You make a mistake. Suddenly, I'm a failure. You lose money. I'm terrible with money. Someone rejects you. I'm not good enough. You make a bad decision. I always ruin everything. Notice what happened. A single event became a judgment about your entire identity. This is unnecessary suffering. A Stoic separates, I made a mistake, from, I am a mistake. You can fail without becoming a failure. You can lose without becoming a loser. You can make a bad decision without becoming a bad person. The purpose of reflection is not self-destruction. It is improvement. Ask, what did this teach me? What will I do differently next time? Then move. Chapter 10. Practice negative visualization. The Stoics sometimes contemplated the loss of things they valued, not because they wanted to become pessimistic, but because they wanted to become grateful and mentally prepared. Imagine losing your possessions. Imagine losing an opportunity. Imagine losing your current level of comfort. Imagine that someone you love will not always be beside you. These thoughts may sound uncomfortable, but they can produce an important realization. What you currently have is not guaranteed. When you understand this, ordinary things become valuable. Your health, your family, your home, your ability to work, your freedom, your time, your relationships. Gratitude reduces unnecessary stress because it shifts attention from what is missing to what is already present. You stop constantly demanding more from life, and you begin appreciating what life has already given you. Chapter 11. Control your inputs. Your mind is influenced by what you repeatedly consume. If every morning you consume outrage, every afternoon you consume bad news, every evening you consume arguments, and before sleeping you scroll through other people's achievements, don't be surprised when your mind feels restless. Your attention is your mental environment. The Stoic asks, what am I allowing into my mind? Not every piece of information deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every headline deserves your emotional reaction. Not every opinion deserves consideration. You need mental boundaries. Protect your attention, because whatever repeatedly enters your mind eventually influences the way you see the world. Chapter 12. Stop comparing your journey. Comparison is another unnecessary source of stress. Someone is richer. Someone is more successful. Someone has a bigger house. Someone has a better car. Someone has more followers. Someone is younger and already successful. Someone started later and passed you, and suddenly your own progress feels worthless. But Stoicism teaches you to focus on your own character and actions. Your competition is not everyone else. Your competition is the person you were yesterday. Did you become more disciplined? Did you become wiser? Did you control yourself better? Did you make better decisions? Did you become more courageous? That's progress. You don't need someone else's life to validate yours. Chapter 13. Accept that some days will be bad. There is another hidden source of stress. Expecting life to always be comfortable. You wake up tired. A problem appears. Someone annoys you. Something breaks. Plans change. And you think, why is everything going wrong? But why shouldn't difficult days exist? Life contains inconvenience. Life contains loss. Life contains uncertainty. Life contains disappointment. The Stoic doesn't expect life to remove difficulties. He expects himself to become capable of meeting them. That is a completely different mindset. Instead of saying, I shouldn't have problems, say, problems are part of the training. Every difficult situation gives you an opportunity to practice patience. Every insult gives you an opportunity to practice self-control. Every setback gives you an opportunity to practice resilience. Every uncertainty gives you an opportunity to practice courage. The obstacle becomes training. Chapter 14. Create a daily Stoic reset. You don't need to wait for a crisis to practice Stoicism. Build a daily reset. In the morning, ask, what is within my control today? Then identify your responsibilities. At midday, ask, am I reacting or responding? And at night, ask, where did I give away my peace today? Maybe you argued with someone unnecessarily. Maybe you worried about something you couldn't control. Maybe you spent too much time seeking approval. Maybe you allowed someone else's behavior to dictate your mood. Don't judge yourself. Study yourself. Then tomorrow improve. This is how Stoicism becomes practical, not as a philosophy you admire, but as a discipline you practice. Chapter 15. The ultimate Stoic rule. Long pause. If you remember only one thing from this entire video, remember this. Don't spend your life fighting battles that don't belong to you. Some battles belong to you. Your discipline, your integrity, your decisions, your preparation, your habits, your reactions, your effort, your character. Fight those battles completely. But other battles don't belong to you. Someone else's opinion, someone else's behavior, the past, the future, random events, things you cannot change. Don't spend your life trying to conquer what cannot be conquered. Your peace begins when you understand the difference. Conclusion: peace is a discipline. The Stoic life is not a life without stress. It is a life where stress is placed in its proper position. You will still face problems. You will still lose. You will still be disappointed. People will still misunderstand you. Plans will still fail. Money will sometimes become tight. Business will sometimes become difficult. Relationships will sometimes hurt. The future will remain uncertain. But you don't have to add unnecessary suffering to necessary difficulty. That is the lesson. When something happens, pause. Separate the facts from the story. Ask what is within your control. Accept what isn't. Take the next right action. Then let go. You don't need to control everything. You don't need everyone to approve of you. You don't need every problem solved immediately. You don't need to know exactly what tomorrow will bring. You only need enough wisdom to handle what is in front of you. Remember, you cannot control the storm, but you can control the way you stand in it. You cannot control the world, but you can govern yourself. You cannot prevent every difficulty, but you can prevent yourself from turning every difficulty into unnecessary suffering. And perhaps that is one of the greatest forms of freedom, to live in the same world as everyone else, while refusing to let everything around you control the state of your mind. So today, ask yourself, what am I stressing about that I cannot control? What story am I telling myself that isn't a fact? What battle am I fighting that isn't mine? And finally, what is the next thing within my control? Do that, then let the rest go. Because peace isn't the absence of problems. Peace is the ability to remain steady while problems exist. And that is the Stoic way.